nothing can stop Nnamdi Kanu from coming out today, except otherwise, the lead counsel of the prosecutors, the federal government, could appeal the case. That's the only thing that could stop Nnamdi Kanu from walking out of the court, a freed man. Hello everyone, thanks for joining me in this broadcast. I remain Nnamdi. Now, yesterday being the 21st of May, I dropped a video after the court proceedings of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. It was a very welcoming development, being that after the cross-examination, the witness could not defend his case. That there is no case against Nnamdi Kanu. There will be case if there is evidence substantiated, proven beyond reasonable doubt. That was why the lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu yesterday, who led the cross-examination, was able to detail. In fact, he confused the man. That was one of the brightest questions thrown to him. They could not defend or stand before the lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, of which the judge noted that. Now, let me just say this concerning Aloy Ejimakor's position. Aloy Ejimakor is not an upcoming lawyer. He has been established. He's a very sound legal luminary. And sometimes such caliber of people in the legal profession should not be seen behaving in such a manner he did. Prior to this time, the judge and the counsel to Nnamdi Kanu and that of the prosecutor, they had an agreement that none of them will entertain a briefing or press briefing or whatever. It was an agreement, he consented to that. I don't see the reason why he should go back and violate that. So it is unbecoming of him. I will blame him for such, as some people will say, why should you blame me if you are Nnamdi Kanu that have been detained? Now, you have been in the pits for so long, and they want to lift you out of the pit. You start crying, hey, there is shit. This place is smelling. That is not, it's too bad of him. It's too bad of Aloy Ejimakor. That is the reason why yesterday, the judge in his wisdom, Justice John Omotocho, has to ban the use of phone. He didn't ban it because there is any ulterior motive. It was a reaction from the action of Aloy Ejimakor, one of the lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, that compelled him to take such drastic action. After all this while, he have allowed media, he have allowed free press and the rest of them. So who should be blamed if there will not be media covering henceforth, especially today, 22nd? Aloy Ejimakor should be blamed for that, for whatever reason, based on to stick to the instruction. You can now grant press briefing after the judge may have ruled his position regarding the case. What he should have done, Aloy Ejimakor, he now asked for adjournment. Why should you ask for adjournment? Of course, before the cross-examination, the witness has tendered his witness in the witness box. From those positions or information provided by the witness, you should have gone to do your homework. Make sure you provide vital information, videos, documents that will counter the position of the witness. You never did that, and you are granting press briefing for whatever reason. What are you granting press briefing? You are asked, don't do that. That is a simple instruction. So with the caliber of his personality and his pedigree, he shouldn't have fumbled. If it were just upcoming lawyers, it would have been a different case. Could it mean there is a conspiracy somewhere? There is something going on somewhere which he will need more clarification on his part. Don't grant press briefing until the judgment is determined. And you agreed on that. Well, that is, by the way. Now, that provoked or prompted Justice James Omotoso, who is committed to fair process, hearing and judgment, he said he is not going to grant another adjournment after today. Aloy Ejimakor and the lead counsel to Mazi Nnamdi should have done their homework. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was accused by the witness that he incited the public calling for wanton destruction of life and property. What you should have done is to bring the record, video clip where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu instructed his people to defend themselves against the Fulanis, the terrorists. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stated it categorically clear with explicit explanation that the ESN was set up to defend the forests of the eastern region and not to attack the police, not to attack anybody, to defend the invaders, which of course one of the past generals, General Theophilus Danjuma, also pointed out at a time when his own people, Taraba, are being invaded, killed. He called on the locals, the communities, to rise up and defend themselves, which means it is in tandem with the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Defend yourself against the terrorists who are invading the forest, raping, killing, manning, and destroying your crops, leaving you at the state of vulnerability and at the mercy of hunger. That is what Ejimakor and other lead counsel would have done. They should have done their homework. Left alone for me, and I don't have such legal background, I would have done that. Common sense would have given me such what to do, the next step to take to counter that. So I don't know what exactly they are doing there. Taking adjournment because you never did your homework very well. That provoked the judge, presiding judge, cannot accept any further adjournments. In fact, if Aloy Ejimakor or the lead counsel to Mazi Nnamdi have provided that answer, those videos to counter that man. Of course, the lead counsel leading the cross-examination pointed out, are you aware that T.Y. Danjuma also asked the people to protect themselves? In most recent time, the DG of DSS also asked not just a particular region, the entire community in Nigeria to protect themselves. So if you have backed that with those video clips, where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu also called communities across Nigeria to rise up and defend themselves against the invaders, the marauders, who are coming to kill and to grab their ancestral lands. That would have made a perfect submission, a perfect defense. But adjourning the case because you failed to do what is right is very suspicious from my own point of view. Now, that nonetheless, we understood that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is winning the case. He's winning. Now, when you are winning, what are you expected? Of course, in the previous ruling by the appeal courts, he won overwhelmingly. After this high court, of course, the prosecutors might appeal the case, the ruling. Of course, they knew that the ruling would be against them because they could not make any substantiable evidence. They could not even prove the allegations against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu beyond. They didn't even prove it, let alone prove it beyond reasonable doubts. So it behoves on the accused to prove his or her case beyond reasonable doubt. Now, when they fail to do that, when they have started fumbling, it means it is an end. Already, it's an end to this cycle of rigmaroling, post-destination, and the rest of them. That is what Justice James Omotoso wanted to avoid. He don't want to entertain any further adjournment. He wanted to expedite this case and let the cause of justice prevail. For Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he felt very bad for his incarceration. For more than 10 years, the case against him has not been established. So he is taking a lead to ensure that justice and transparency is ensured in this case. So don't blame Justice James Omotoso if medias were not granted to cover the case. From henceforth, you should rather blame Aloy Ejimakor for such oversight function. It is quite very unfortunate. Now, coming back to the person who said I should stop reporting fake news, are you really sensible enough? Or you think because you can type, you come here and make silly of yourself. We are here to educate the people, and we educate them rightly. If you don't have sense to think and make deductions and make reference to what is happening, the updates on ground. Now, whatever question thrown to the witness by the defense counsel leading the cross-examination, he could not answer anyone. So what do you mean? If you said I stole your thing and you don't know when and how, it was a mere exaggeration. You see, you have no evidence. And Justice James Omoto want to rule the case. Even yesterday, he wanted to give judgment, and he said clearly that he will not entertain any further adjournment. He will rather rule the case. He will rather determine the judgment immediately based on information available. And if care is not taken because of the perceived negligence on the part of the lead counsel, precisely, of course, Aloy Ejimakor and others who failed to bring a winning, overwhelming evidence of Nnamdi Kanu video clip calling for self-defense of his people at an event of death or facing any risk of death or infraction by the marauders, Fulanis, the terrorists, and the rest of them. So it is clearly visible. You could read it in between the lines that nothing can stop Nnamdi Kanu from coming out today, except otherwise the lead counsel, there's the lead counsel of the prosecutors, the federal government could appeal the case. That's the only thing that could stop Nnamdi Kanu from walking out of the court, a freed man. If they will not appeal the judgment of the High Court, which already is very clear, and the presiding judge is willing to dispense justice. Let's watch as things unfold today. You will see clearly. Some people, you see, as a atoro madilu kowarea ego jelemia furohia. So that is just exactly what this person that tweeted. We the Biafran. Who are you? Who knows you as a Biafran? A Fulani man or a Buzu man will come and answer any name here, claiming he is a Biafran. Who made you a Biafran? If you are truly a Biafran, if you are truly in support of Nnamdi, you should, in your spirit, physically, based on the current updates, know that Nnamdi is already freed. Because if you cannot, from onset, you have not been able to establish a case against him. And now the cross-examination is taking place. You could not even defend what you have said previously. So what else? What else evidence? I don't know. All I heard is this. You couldn't even give. You said they bombed houses, they bombed buses, and the rest of them. What are the numbers of the buses? What are the plate numbers? You have to give detail. You have to be detailed. It's not just... the court of law is not where you just come and make and blab. At the end of the day, you think the court should accept it. There should be substantive evidence that could be referenced to. So with this development, it is clearly shown and unarguably determined that Nnamdi Kanu is a free man again. The second time, the High Court will rule in his favor. Possibly, as I rightly said, they might definitely appeal the case just to buy time. But from the foregoing, for the updates from the realities, Nnamdi Kanu is already free. If you can't present any evidence, what else do you want to see? Say it's a fake news. What is fake about that? What is fake about the news I broadcasted? What is fake about it? The enemies within, who only come to find fault, to find how to pull someone down. You are a goner. Your own is gone. What is fake about that? Tell me. We had done no proceedings yesterday. Maybe you never followed the proceedings. Of course, you never have access to this transcript of the proceedings. You should have made a firm decision that Ogola, ihe fọrọ otu agwụla agwụ. The only thing I have maintained that will stop Nnamdi Kanu from walking out of DSS dungeon today, the 22nd of May 2025, is possibly they might appeal the case, because the presiding judge has given today as the last day. He is not willing to entertain any further adjournment from any party, from both parties, whether the prosecutors and the defendants counsels. He said he ruled that yesterday. What does that mean? The next position is to determine judgment. Possibly after today, the court in its wisdom, or the judge in his wisdom, will fix a date for judgment, or to communicate the judgment to the different parties involved. That is just what we want to hear. That is just the situation. And somebody is saying it's fake news. Ndiocho, the devil incarnate. Please kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel as we continue to bring you Obenga news. Keeping it real has been our commitment, and to this end, we continue to come your way every moment. But let's watch out and see how the court, of course, and the cross-examination proceeds today, and whether the lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu will tender the video clip to further buttress their position. Thanks for watching. I remain Chigozindebo.